estate business. Normally, most people don't think about, they just run out and get their license and they get into business and they want to do a transaction. Am I correct? In most cases, I think a lot of us see that. Well, these are some of the things to think about. You know, search items needed to start your business. Your brokerage startup costs, your business cards, marketing, name tags, things of that nature. Analyze how much funds you're going to need to start your business. Create a business plan. Now, how many people have been in the industry for at least 10 years? Okay, so did you have a business plan when you first came into the business? Do people do business plans now? So we do business plans now. So it's just very important to have a business plan. And I did not have a business plan. The next thing is that once we get our license, and then we've decided, we realize that we really need money to be in this industry, then the next thing we want to do is we need to interview a brokerage. What happens almost 90% of the time, we get our license and then guess what we do? We go get interviewed. We have the brokerage interview us. Is that correct? How many people sat in front of a broker and got tons of questions but didn't have a list of questions when you first got into the business? Right? You just went, right? And you just sat there and they asked you a bunch of questions and then they told you about commission splits and you just said yes or no. You hung your license there and you kept moving. Well, here are some things that I like to review, and I really like people to know this coming into the business or even moving over to another brokerage if you decide to do that. Ask about their passion, ask about their mission, their purpose, vision, and values. Guys, we've got to know about people's brands. Especially if you're new in the business or you haven't been in your part-time, you want to know about their brands. Ask about their reputation and their size. Are they local or nationally or worldwide known? This is big. We need to know that. We want to know if you're a local, are you just locally right here in the area, or are you worldwide or nationally known? Ask about their online presence and marketing to research customers. These are very, very important questions here. Ask about their locations. Why are locations important? Anybody know? Anybody can answer that? You want a company that, you have a question?
I was going to say, you repeat the question.
Say it again.
Why are locations important?
Why are locations important?
I don't know.
You want to see how many markets you can work in?
Exactly. Or not only that, how about this? Suppose you have a customer in Kendall. You can go to the Kendall office. Suppose you have a customer in Miami Lakes. You can go to the Miami Lakes office. Suppose you have a customer in Pembroke Pines. You can go to the Pembroke Pines office. Well, what if they only have one office? You need to know where they are. Are they all over, or are they just in one location? Ask about the broker's in-house trainings. Everybody gets into the business, but we want to know, hey, broker, what are your trainings like? Ask about management support. Questions and answers for realtors development and company meetings. Is there someone there that I can talk to if you are not available? Is there? That's something very important as well. Ask about their administration support. Okay, so am I uploading all my documents, or is somebody going to upload my documents? Am I going to put my information in the MLS, or is there someone there to put my information in the MLS? These are really good things. Now, you're always going to want to learn what to do before you hand it over to somebody else. However, if that's available, those are things that you want. Because if somebody can put a listing in for you, then guess what you have time to do? Go find another listing. So these are also important questions to ask. So like, where are we now? Okay, ask about a referral system, leads, floor time. If it's a brick and mortar place and it's an actual office, listen, is there a slot for me to answer the phones? Can I do that? Again, a lot of people are not asking these questions. They're just like, what's the commission split? That's what I need to know first and foremost. And if you notice, I had not even asked that question first. It's the last question. What are the company fees, if any, and how are they paid? We need to know if your brokerage, are there fees involved? How many times? Am I paying a particular attorney fee every year? Am I going to be paying a desk fee? Am I going to pay whatever the fees are? What qualifies levels of commission splits? Not what is the commission split. What qualifies levels of commission splits? It's a complete different thing. Because suppose I'm at this level. It's a different qualifying factor, and what if it isn't? No, here straight across the board we just give a commission split of 60-40. Well, I know I haven't been in the business, but I do have a lot of sales history. That I used to work at Saks Fifth Avenue, and my book is a $1 million book or a $2 million book, and I know I can do sales. Why am I on the same level with everybody else? So that part you want to always have. What qualifies levels of commission splits? Just because you haven't been in the business for a long time doesn't mean you can't do the business well. Remember, we don't sell houses. A lot of people think that you sell houses. How many people in here sell houses? Raise your hand. You sell houses. You don't sell houses. You know why? Because you don't hold the inventory. You're never really selling a house. You're selling what?
Service yourself.
You're selling yourself. I would love to say that I'm selling houses, because that means I have the inventory and I own it and I'm making the money from it. So I know it's a little tricked in words, but it's very, very important, because you're really not selling houses. Have to start getting in the mindset to really understand that you are totally selling your customer service is what you're selling. And so the more information you have, the more people are going to want to come to you. So the next thing is selecting association. It's very important. People don't even know. You want to select an association. Does anybody know how you go about selecting an association to work with? Not at all, nobody? You just go? Sophia? Yeah, I thought you raised your hand.
What areas do they service? What MLS data, listing data, the fees, products and services that they can provide? So if you're servicing a certain area, you need to make sure you're part of the board that you will allow for you to access those MLSs, things like that.
Exactly. And not only, you want to know what are their membership benefits. Does anybody in here even know what your membership benefits are? Everybody thinks they pay this $800 and it's just, I'm gonna get on the MLS. I'm just getting on the MLS. I just all I get is I'm on the MLS. You are not paying $800 to be on the MLS. It is so much more than paying the money to be on the MLS. And I can guarantee you about 90% of the people do not use all the benefits that are there. What product and services are provided? You want to ask them those questions, because guess what? You might be in a brokerage and that said that they were going to do all these wonderful things, and they didn't do all these wonderful things, right? But guess who you have to rely on? You'll have your association. You'll have your association to rely on, because they're going to have products and services provided to you, and you're going to know that because you're going to go and ask the questions needed. What is the cost to join? You want to know, how much is it going to cost me to be a part of this? Because you can't really do your full business plan. You have to incorporate all these fees, correct? When we're running our business, right? Because this is a fee. Okay? So I wanted to point out, there are, Miami Association. There are so many benefits for the Miami Association. Does anybody know this? Can this get bigger, Kevin? It can't get bigger? Okay, hold on. So the Miami Association offers so much more than the MLS. Does anybody else know what they offer? Does anybody use some of the tools? Anybody?
Yeah. Rentals, tenant screening.
A rental tent screening? Young lady in the back? Huh?
Yeah.
MLS offers.
Sunstats.
Supra.
Right, so there are over 200 little icons to use, correct? And I guarantee you, guess what we all do? We gotta go on the MLS, we gotta go on the MLS, we gotta go on the MLS. You know, I mean, Sunstats came out, I believe, sometime last year. I studied the whole thing. It gave, I'm like, I can Sunstat it now. That's what I told. I said, oh, let me Sunstat that for you. That's my new verbiage for people. Let me Sunstat that for you. So just giving you that there's so many things that you can also have. Now, when you're a part of, hold on one second. I'll show it to you from this perspective. This is my actual association bill. So this is telling me that this is what Angelique pays. $805 is what I pay. But where's the money going to? Some of this money is going to NAR, some of this money is going to Florida Realtors, and some of the money is going to the Miami Association. So that means, guess what? I have benefits in 3 different places, am I correct? 3 different places I have benefits. So, let me go back one. We talked about the Miami Association and we had a whole list. Then we went through, next I want to tell you about Florida Realtors. There are so many more things in Florida Realtors, but there are 12 things in Florida Realtors that you can, right off the bat, they're benefits. Does anybody know any of them at all? Because there's one I love. Form Simplicity is there. I do love Form Simplicity.
Discounts.
You do have discounts.
The hotline.
Legal hotline.
There you go. That's my favorite right there. That legal hotline is like my lifeline. There is nothing like calling the 1-800 number for the people who actually created the forms for us to use to get an answer to the question right away. How many people you think uses it? Well, see, we got one. I use it. We've got 2.
They have tech support hotline too.
They have tech support hotline, but so they have it. So when you became a realtor, you got this little card, right? Or when you signed up for the Miami Association or whatever association you're with, there's a little card that you get with every single phone number on it. Guys, these are benefits. Everybody's always, I get about 6 to 7 calls a week from other realtors just to ask me what to do on something. How you think I know? Guess what I did? I called the 1-800 number. That's all I did. When I first started, I called the 1-800 number to every place that I could possibly find out everything I could find out about. And Florida Realtors was one of the places I called. Also, I just said you're a part of NAR, correct? Their benefits. Who uses benefits at NAR? Anybody even signed up, have their picture there? There's all this information at NAR. Do you know that you don't even have to go and find your own videos? You can put your face in the videos that NAR has created. How easy is that? Some of us don't even like to be doing all of the social media stuff. They have it for you. It's there. It's not free because you're paying for it, but it's there for you to use. Is any of this information helpful? Thank you. I am a fill-in. Okay, so the real estate profession. Here are some tips on positioning yourself in the real estate profession. Look for an accountant. How many people has an accountant? That's very good. When you first came into the business, did you have an accountant? No, you just figured that, I got into the business, and then when you got ready to do your taxes in your own name, because you didn't have a PA or an LLC, what happened? You got taxed twice. You just didn't realize you got taxed twice. And I realized, I said, well, wait a minute. I know I made some good money, but I had to pay taxes twice. So that's what helped me realize, let me either be a PA or an LLC, and I chose to be an LLC for my own personal reasons. So you can choose whatever you want to be. Learn how to speak the real estate language. What are some words we use in real estate? Anybody? Huh?
Escrow.
Escrow. Any other words? Huh? What did she say? Oh, physical. Okay, right. I think sometimes when we're speaking in real estate, we don't speak. A lot of people put things that they see in the MLS. So we'll say pending sale. What does that mean? What's a pending sale to the world out there? Yeah, but do people understand what that means?
Somebody has an offer.
We know that because we have a license, right? So what do we, when we put a property, you get a contract, and now we're under contract, what is that called out there? You're in what? You're in escrow. We should be speaking like that. Do you guys watch the $1 Million Listing shows? Oh, they speak real estate all day, right? Even when you get to a higher level in luxury, do they say that this house is $56 million? Do they say that the house is $35 million? Do they say it's a $5 million? You know what they say? Anybody know what they use? Huh? No. Huh? No, you know what they say? This is 500 per square foot.
Yeah.
Isn't that how they speak like that, right? So some of us who want to be in the higher range, the $1 million range, I had to write it down. I'm going to somebody else like, well, by square footage, I mean, I got to calculate. Are you serious? But they speak in square footage. No one goes and says, this house is $56 million. You never hear that. If you watch those shows again, pay attention to them because details are very important. And people of a certain caliber who are listing their properties at that level, they speak a different language. And we need to speak more real estate. You know, I'm gonna do a CMA for you. Well, what is that? What's a CMA? Does our customers know what that is? Do they know? We know. So we all, so we have to start speaking real estate. It's very important, I think. Know your real estate facts, ethics, professional, business, and core law. Everybody does this how often? Anybody know? Every 2 years. It used to be 4 years for part of it, 2 years now. So what's important about this? Let me tell you the one thing I don't like, drives me nuts. When someone sends a contract over, and on that page 12 or 12 it adds this contract, you know that last line at the bottom, most of us may use, and they put their commission in there.
Yeah.
Right? Why are you putting why do people put their commission on the contract? There's not even a slot for it.
They wanna just feel better.
They want to feel better, right? Do you think it matters in a court of law if you're in grievance or anything like that? Did you put your commission there? You know what it's showing? You don't even know who's a part of the actual contract. It's showing that you don't know what you're doing by putting your commission on the contract. And then they're going to say, but you took the class because you take it every 2 years. You should know, right? They point this out every time. I forget the guy who does the class, but he literally points that out every single time. So it's very, very important that you know what you're doing. Who is the contract between? The who? No. Always the buyer and the seller. Exactly. In the state of Florida, who are we? Who are we in the state of Florida? What's your title as a realtor?
Transaction broker.
You're a transaction broker. So what are you doing? You are transacting what you're, and that's all you're doing. And you are doing that from the knowledge that you know by giving them suggestions, opinions about the things that you've learned in real estate. You are not making decisions for these customers. They are not your clients, they are your customers. You're in the state of Florida, so you are transacting a transaction according to what the seller or buyer wants, whomever you have developed that relationship with. Your name is not in the contract. Your brokerage's name is not in there. It's the seller and the buyer. Okay, let's move on. Know your real estate license number and brokerage number. Learn your forms. Learn your real estate forms. Well, we just kind of discussed that on contracts. Know your real estate license number and brokerage ID. There are so many people that don't even know their broker ID. You should always have your brokerage ID. Put it in your little notepad somewhere because you may need it for whatever reason. Get to know the National Association of Realtors and your NARS number, National Realtor Database System. Your NARS benefits. You need to know your benefits and you need to know your NARS. Do you know where to find that? Anybody knows where to find your NARS number?
Yeah.
And so if you don't find it in a computer, where do you find it? If you don't go online and find it, where else could you find it? Where? On the magazine. That's how I found mine. I'm not even gonna lie. The first time I'm like, oh, there's the number, I cut it out. And then I realized I could just go on NAR and put my name in there and it'll pull up. But you know, years ago, I was like, oh, it's on here. I found it. So it's on that magazine as well. Get to know your state realtors, if applicable. Florida Realtors Benefits, which we discussed a little earlier. Get to know the state real estate commission. Get to know FREC. Does anybody even understand what FREC does? Anybody? These are things that help you understand and help you be a professional at what you do, believe it or not. Get to know the Department of Business and Professional Regulation. We need to know them. Why we need to know who they are? What do we do?
Make sure that you stay in compliance.
Stay in compliance and also pay and make sure that you, when you get ready. Stay active with your license, by far, all right? I hope this information is a little helpful. I'm sure most of you know it. Real estate professional, so create standards and skill sets as a real estate professional. Create work hours. Anybody know what time Publix close? What time does Publix close? 10 o'clock. Isn't that a standard? You can't decide you want milk at 11 o'clock and go into Publix. Because guess what? Publix is what? Exactly. So why don't we have standards? Why are we answering phone calls at 11 o'clock? Why are we answering them at 6:30? Why are we answering them all at sorts of times a day? Why is it that we're at lunch and we're answering the telephone? If you and I decided to go to lunch together, we all went to lunch, why are we answering the phone during that time? Everything has a time frame. Walmart pharmacy closes from 1 o'clock from 1:30 to 2 o'clock. You cannot get a prescription between those hours. There's standards. How many people have created standards for their business? Anybody? Nobody? So you just answer the phone anytime you want to answer the phone. How do we get people to respect us if we just do whatever everybody wants us to do?